Okay guys, paragraph 1. The task says, make an opening statement on the topic of the project. What do you actually need to do here? You can start with a general introductory phrase, but then you need to mention the topic of the project. With no paraphrase, you can use the same words as you have in the task. Then you need to mention the data, the opinion polls that you have in the task, and what you're going to do. Let's have a look at the phrases that you can use to do all of these things correctly. To make an introductory phrase, you can use these. It is no secret that blah blah blah. Or there is no doubt that something is becoming a relevant issue nowadays. Or nowadays the question of something causes great arguments and controversy. Or nowadays more and more people are doing something. Or the question of something has been widely debated in society recently. Or undoubtedly something plays an important role in people's lives. Or even, nowadays it is impossible to imagine our lives without something. As you can see, all of these phrases are a bit different. Please make sure they sound logical with your chosen topic. This is not the email. You can't just choose one phrase and use it everywhere. You have to think here. So don't say that, I don't know, the question of going to work by different kinds of public transport has been widely debated in society recently. It sounds absurd. For that topic, choose another phrase. For example, nowadays it is impossible to imagine our lives without public transport. That sounds absolutely fine. Okay, after our general phrase, we need to introduce our project and the data. For example, the project I am working on is aimed at establishing how blah blah blah. I have found some data on the subject, the results of an opinion poll. Or, while doing a project on the topic, I have found the results of an opinion poll on this subject. Please make sure that in this phrase you mention the audience, teenagers, students, women, or just people, whatever you have in the task, and the country. Usually it's Zetland in this task. Take this information from the task itself. After you've introduced the topic of your project, you can say what you're going to do in this work. For example, as part of my project, I'm going to analyze the statistics and present my findings. Or, in this work, I plan to analyze the data and comment on it. Okay, paragraph 2. Your task says, select and report 2 or 3 facts. What do you need to write here? First of all, don't forget that each paragraph has to be connected to the previous one. So the first thing we write is a connecting phrase. Then you report the first fact. Don't forget to use the actual numbers from the data. You can put them in brackets or just write 30% of the respondents choose blah blah blah. Then the second fact. Same thing with numbers. And the third if you want to. 2 facts are enough. A very important thing to remember about your facts is that you have to use the same tense when you're reporting them. Present simple is usually used for this function, so present simple is the best choice for the second paragraph. The respondents choose, the teenagers believe, the people think, and so on. Guys, some minimal analytical comment here is a good idea. Instead of just saying 3% choose this and 5% choose that, say something like, another key feature is that 5% of the respondents choose something, putting this response at the bottom of the table. Use connecting phrases between the 2 facts that you report. Let's have a look at the sentences that can be useful here. To present your first fact and start the second paragraph, you can use one of these. As can be seen from the table, diagram, or pie chart, the majority of the respondents, and in brackets you have the number, choose or believe or think something, making this option the most popular one with Zetland's somebody, teenagers, students, whoever. Or, according to the pie chart or table or diagram, somebody believes something. Or, to begin with, I would like to mention that something does something. One fact done, moving on to the second one. To add one more fact, you can say, the first fact is very closely followed by the second fact. For example, receiving a laptop for one's birthday, that's our first fact, is very closely followed by getting a smartphone. That's our second fact. And then you give the numbers here too. Or another key feature is that students do something, putting this option or choice or response at the bottom of the table. Or, what is even more surprising, somebody does something, making this option or choice or response the least popular one among somebody in Zetland. One more way. Another significant fact is that, children believe something. Furthermore is another good way to add information. In addition, or what is more. All right, the third paragraph. Your task wants you to make 1 or 2 comparisons where relevant and give your comments. We remember about the usual rule, so the first thing we do is connect this paragraph to the previous one. Then we need to compare 2 facts from our data. Please make sure you choose the facts you didn't mention in the second paragraph. Or at least, if you choose the same ones, you look at them from a different point of view. Guys, it's better to choose 2 facts for paragraph 2 and some other 2 facts for paragraph 3, just to be safe. It is also very important to remember the rules of comparing stuff. All those forms of comparative adjectives and adverbs, remember, we didn't study them only for 19 through 24. We need them here as well. After we've mentioned our comparison, we also need to comment on it. This is the second part of our third paragraph, and it's very important not to forget about it. Your comment has to be adequate and logical. So please don't say things like, the bus is the least popular means of public transport because it is at the bottom of the table. Use your logic and analytical skills here, please. When you're choosing which facts to compare in your work, please think about how you can comment on that comparison. Choose the facts that you understand, can compare correctly, and can comment on adequately. Some phrases that will help you. To start your third paragraph and introduce the first comparison, you can use these. Further analysis of the data reveals that something. Or the table or diagram or pie chart shows that blah blah blah. Or the results of the opinion poll invite comparison. And then we give you a comparison. Or studying the statistics in the table, diagram or pie chart in more detail, one can see that something. Then, if you've decided to add one more comparison, and you can do that, your task says make 1 or 2 comparisons, you can use these. By contrast, something. Conversely, or however, or alternatively, or on the contrary, or on the one hand, on the other hand, or whereas. Lots of different words that can help us compare stuff. Guys, just to remind you, some general ways of comparing things are: something is twice as popular as, or something is much more popular than something else, or something is less popular than something else, or something is the least popular option of all the something. And after we're done making our 1 or 2 comparisons, we don't forget about our comment and say something like this. This, meaning our comparison, confirms or contradicts a widely held belief or a popular opinion that something something. Or these statistics clearly show that blah blah blah. But please make sure that if you mention the statistics in your comment, the information that you give here is actually in the data. Don't say that the statistics show something that is only your opinion. That will lead to logical mistakes. Okay, paragraph number 4. In the task, you have outline a problem that can arise with something. This is always different. And suggest a way of solving it. 2 parts again, right? Problem and solution. What do we need to write here? We start with a connecting phrase, of course. Then we mention the actual problem that we came up with. Guys, the most popular mistake here is to mention a problem without looking at the task. Please remember to look at the plan when you're writing this paragraph. Not at the statistics. At the plan under your table or pie chart. There you have the topic on which you have to outline a problem. And you don't only have to imagine a problem, but a solution as well. You can use your imagination here, but please be reasonable. Both your problem and your solution have to be adequate and logical. So please don't say that the solution to the problem of social media overuse is to never use a phone. That doesn't sound realistic or adequate, and it will not be accepted as a solution by the expert. Okay, some phrases to use here for us. To start your 4th paragraph and outline a problem, you can say, while we all, or while all of us, or while everyone, or while many people do something, there is an important problem or issue associated with that something. Or it is important to note that, and here's your problem. Or there is a problem that is often faced by, and here you have the category of people. Or one issue that is associated with something is something. Okay, we've stated our problem. Now we're going to offer a solution. For example, fortunately, there is a solution to this problem. Or, one solution to this problem is to do something. Or, the best way to solve or tackle this problem is to do something. Or, the best way to deal with this problem is to do something else. Moving on to the last paragraph, guys. Number 5. It is usually the smallest paragraph in our statement, but please make sure it consists of more than just one sentence. One sentence cannot make up a paragraph. A paragraph always consists of at least 2 sentences. Okay, what's it about? Our task says, conclude by giving and explaining your opinion on some topic. What do we need to write here? A connecting phrase is what we start with, of course. Then, please write very explicitly that this is your opinion. I think, I believe, I am sure, and so on. I is very important here. And the subject of your opinion is in the task. Pay attention here, guys. Do not state your opinion on just something connected to the topic of your project. No, you have a particular question in the plan under your table or pie chart. You have to look there. You have to see this line of the plan. After you've said what you think, you also need to explain why you think so. Please don't forget about that or you will lose points. You need to explain your opinion. Okay, phrases everyone. To start your paragraph, you can use these connecting phrases. In conclusion, to conclude, to summarize, in sum. This is how you tell everyone, okay, I'm very close to the end, this is my last paragraph. Then, to state your opinion, you can use these. I strongly or firmly believe that something is of vital importance. Or, I personally believe that despite some problems associated with my topic, I am convinced that something. Or my own point of view is that blah blah blah. Or to my mind, or in my opinion, blah blah blah. I'm certain that blah blah blah. Please notice that all of these phrases explicitly say that the opinion belongs to you, not all people or everyone or somebody else. It is important. And here are some phrases to explain your opinion after you've stated it. This is because blah blah blah. I'm certain of this due to some reason. As I'm convinced that and we're done, guys. That's the whole of our written statement. Again, I want to stress that this is not the email. There are no set phrases that you have to use. You can use anything that is of neutral style, grammatically correct, and nicely put. The phrases that we've just covered with you are great help, but they aren't the only ones that can be used. Alright, that's it for me for now. Please do a couple of exercises and we'll meet in the next video to discuss all the popular mistakes that students make so that we can avoid them.